It was a quiet Sunday afternoon in the small town of Brooksville. The Johnson family had gathered in their modest suburban home for lunch. Laughter, the smell of fried chicken, and the sound of gospel music filling the air. Marcus Johnson, a large man with a calm demeanor and a deep, commanding voice, sat at the head of the table. His wife, Denise, and their two kids, Malik and Zoe, were enjoying the weekend peace. To the neighbors, Marcus looked like an ordinary man, a mechanic perhaps, or a retired truck driver. Nobody in Brooksville knew his past, and that's exactly how Marcus wanted it. Beneath his relaxed smile and easygoing nature was a man who had served 20 years in the U.S. Army's most elite unit, Delta Force. He had seen war in deserts, jungles, and mountains. He had led missions that were classified at the highest levels. But now, all he wanted was peace. That peace would be shattered within minutes, across town. A police dispatch went out. Report of a stolen black SUV, last seen near Jefferson Street. Officer Blake and Officer Carson, both young and eager, were on patrol nearby. They spotted a similar vehicle parked outside the Johnsons' home. Without confirming the plate number or checking the database, they decided to act. Inside the house, Marcus was helping Zoe with her homework when the pounding started. Bang! 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 Police, open up! Denise froze. Malik peeked through the window and shouted, "Dad, there are cops outside, like 5 of them." Marcus calmly stood up. His instincts from years of combat flickered awake, though he kept his tone steady. "Stay back," he said softly. "Let me handle this." He opened the door slowly. "Afternoon, officers," he said. Blake immediately barked, "Step outside, sir." "Hands where I can see them." Marcus frowned. "Can I ask what this is about?" "We got a call about a stolen vehicle," Blake replied, pointing to the SUV in the driveway. "That's my car," Marcus said. "Registered in my name. You can—" Before he could finish, Carson moved in, grabbing Marcus's arm. "Don't argue with me," he shouted. Marcus didn't resist, but his family panicked. Denise stepped forward, saying, "Please, he didn't do anything." Malik pulled out his phone to record. Blake yelled, "Put that down!" The situation escalated fast. One officer pushed Denise aside while another tried to cuff Marcus. Malik shouted, "You can't do that to my dad." In the chaos, Marcus's patience snapped. Not in anger, but in precision. Years of Delta training took over. In one swift motion, he twisted free, disarmed Carson, and spun him around without causing harm. "Don't do this," Marcus warned, voice deep and calm, like a man used to command. "You're making a mistake," the officers froze. His movements weren't wild, they were controlled, professional, efficient. Carson looked stunned. "Who the hell are you?" he stammered. Marcus sighed, stepped back, and raised his hands. "Check your system. My name's Marcus Allen Johnson, retired U.S. Army, Delta Force Commander, 1st Special Operations Detachment." Blake hesitated, radio trembling in his hand. He called dispatch to verify. A moment later, the voice on the other end responded sharply, "Confirming identity. That's Commander Marcus Johnson, highly decorated veteran. Handle with respect. Repeat, stand down immediately." The silence that followed was heavy. Blake's face went pale. "Sir, we didn't know." Marcus looked at him steadily. "You didn't have to know," he said. "You just had to act right." Denise stood beside her husband, tears in her eyes. Malik kept recording, not out of vengeance, but to show the truth. The sergeant arrived minutes later, apologizing profusely. "Commander Johnson, this shouldn't have happened." "I'm truly sorry," Marcus nodded. "You've got good officers," he said, "but you need to train them better. They saw my size and my skin before they saw my humanity." The officers lowered their heads. That night, the video Malik had recorded went viral. Millions watched as the story unfolded, a peaceful veteran and family man treated like a criminal because of an assumption. The headline exploded across social media. "Police attack family of fat black man, unaware he's a Delta Force commander." But Marcus didn't care for fame. He refused interviews, declined television appearances, and never mentioned his rank again. What mattered to him was the lesson, not revenge, but reform. A week later, the police chief visited the Johnson home personally. "Commander," he said, "we're launching a new training program, empathy, de-escalation, and bias awareness. I'd like your help designing it." Marcus hesitated, then nodded. If it means fewer families go through what mine did, I'll help. Over the next months, Marcus became an unlikely mentor for local law enforcement. He shared battlefield lessons about teamwork, judgment, and respect. In combat, he told them, you don't survive by jumping to conclusions. You survive by keeping your head clear. You can't protect people if you fear them. Slowly, the town began to change. Officers learned to talk first, shout less, and listen more. One evening, after training a new batch of recruits, Marcus walked home past the same SUV that had started it all. Malik met him at the door. Dad, people online are calling you a hero. Marcus smiled faintly. Heroes don't look for cameras, son. They just do what needs to be done. Denise placed her hand on his shoulder. You brought peace again, Marcus. Not just to this house, but to this town. He looked around, the sound of cicadas filling the night air. Maybe so, he said softly. But the fight for peace never ends. It just changes battlefields. Inside, the family gathered for dinner once more. Laughter returned, cautious but genuine. Outside, a patrol car rolled by, its officers waving politely at the Johnson home. Marcus waved back, not as a soldier, but as a citizen. The kind of man who had seen enough war to know the value of peace.